This is the DJ Henderson podcast. Today's guest is a Tampa, Florida native whose journey has been anything but easy. After becoming a state champion in high school and having a solid junior college career, it has led him to Binghamton University, where he's currently a sophomore. Bryce Beamer, welcome to the show, bro.
What's up, man?
Nothing much. Thank you for being a part of this. I appreciate you giving me a piece of your time and supporting this.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Thank you for having me.
Tell everybody where you're from, talk about your upbringing, and how you started playing basketball.
I started playing when I was a kid. I can't even tell you last time, or when I ever started. But I'm from Tampa, Florida. Born and raised, been there for a really, really long time, ever since I was a kid. Just all I did was hoop, go outside. That was about it. Nothing else. Just play sports all the time. That was about it. My mom, my dad, real sport oriented. So just kind of pushed me that way, but they didn't force it. Just something I really fell in love with as a kid, just always playing sports. I think it was football, baseball, and basketball were my three that I was really into. But, I fell in love with basketball,
Coming up, your mom coached basketball. She has a very good knowledge for the game. Talk about how she helped you become a good basketball player and what she instilled in you as far as becoming a better player.
I loved it, but I hated it at the same time. Because, she played D1 ball. She played pro. She coached men's and women's in college. She coached at University of Tampa, men's and women's. So it's not like I could tell my mom, hey, you don't know what you're talking about, So she's very heady in the game. She knows everything about it. So it was really hard to have her as a coach because you get, chewed out at the game. You get chewed out after the game. You get chewed out on the ride home, at dinner, and then breakfast, and then right before the next game, So, it was tough, but I think that's what made me I think that's what took me to the next step. Somebody that I had that knew the game and where she coached college, and that's where I wanted to go and be able to play at, because she had all the steps that I wanted to do. So taking up as much knowledge as I could. But her as a coach, it was tough, but like I said, I loved it. I did.
I kind of can feel for that. My dad didn't coach. He's more of a football guy, but he coached me and a lot of my friends AAU days coming up. And it's definitely hard playing for a parent because a lot of times, first, just it being your parent, sometimes you always you don't really want to hear whatever they have to say. A lot of times you need to hear stuff from other people sometimes for it to register. And it's just tough, honestly. Like you said, they always be on you. They're on you a lot, just because they know you better than a regular coach would. They know when you're giving 100%. They know when you got more to give. They're pretty much well in tune with you because they know you better than pretty much anybody else would. When did you know that basketball was just what you wanted to do for sure?
I always thought, basketball was what I wanted to do. But like I said, when I was growing up, it was baseball, basketball, and football. And, we were starting to get to that age where it was you got to focus on one of the sports. And I think I was either 10 or 11. And I was outside with my friend, and my dad pulled me inside. I just talked to my mom and everything about finally trying to stick with one, what you want to really get really good at. And he goes, how do you feel about baseball? I said, I like baseball. He goes, good. How do you like football? I said, I really like football. He goes, well, how do you feel about basketball? And I was 10 or 11, and I looked at him. I was like, I love basketball. So it like little kid saying that. It was just like I knew like that's what I wanted to do. You know, it was just, you know, I think every kid has it. You know, you grow up like game-winning shots and stuff in the driveway and countdowns and March Madness and pro. It just took me on a ride that, you know, I didn't want to give up. So I'd do anything for it. So I just pushed every day.
So after you decided that basketball was what you really wanted to do, how did your mom's expertise and her knowledge of the game help you develop as a player?
It helped a lot because she coached at, you know, the college level. She played at the college level and she played at the pro level. So, you know, be able to get knowledge from each aspect, you know, from playing at the Division I level and then coaching men's and women's at the D2 level and then playing overseas. You know, there was a lot of different, you know, strategies and sets and stuff that you could learn, you know, even though she's, you know, a lot of people think, you know, she's a woman, she's a lady, she's got a lot of knowledge to like learn from, you know. So, I mean, she got me really far, you know, being able to do like the little things. And that's how I got to where I'm at, you know, just doing that.
So heading into high school, you went to Jesuit for a little bit, and then you ended up finally like settling down at Sickles. What was it like when you first got to Sickles, and just what was your overall like first impression when you got there?
When I first got to Sickles, I was terrified. Honestly, I was terrified. I'd never been to a public school before. I didn't know anybody there. You know, people knew who I was. You know, everybody knew, oh, that's the Jesuit kid. That's the Jesuit kid. And I didn't know. And I couldn't hoop because they were already in the season and everything. So, because I transferred halfway through. I got there mid-January. And I was, you know, through my 4 years or three and a half that I was there, I was in the gym every day. I didn't spend one lunch period in the lunchroom. You weren't really supposed to go anywhere else. You had to stay like in that area, but I just stayed in the gym the whole time. I get workouts, whether I was my first year where I wasn't on the team, all the way to my senior year, all the way to the last day until I graduated. You know, I just ate my food in the gym, and then once I was done, lace up, get the gun out, work on stuff. Put the gun away, do dribbling drills, get a workout with Coach Garcia, hit the weight room and come back, and then get ready for class. But it was different. You know, I had a lot of adversity at first, but you know, that's how it makes the journey interesting, you know?
Facts. Everything that you go through that's tough makes just success a lot more sweeter. And you going through what you went through, I know it just made everything way better when you actually got to step on the floor and represent Sickles as a player. Coach Garcia, he coached at Sickles for many, many years. He built a program, a culture there that is like one of the top. It made Sickles one of the top programs in the city for sure, and in the state for sure. What was your relationship like with Coach Garcia, and how did it grow over the years while you were there?
It was. I mean, I still keep in contact with him. I was just talking to him the other day, and it's been, you know, 3-4 years since I played for him. You know, so that kind of bond is carried, you know, not only from athlete to coach or player to coach into now friend to friend. But he's got a large impact on my life. You know, he's helped in so many ways. There's so many things, countless things I can name that he's helped me with. But you know, another guy of knowledge of the game, where he's been and what he's done. You know, you got to just absorb that information and then knowledge from a lot of people. You know, don't be afraid to ask questions. You know, At first I wasn't doing that. I'd watch stuff but actually talking to people, and we had a lot of tools and people and that you could get in contact with at Sickles, guys that played there, coaches, alum, So, I mean, Coach Garcia was a big one. He helped a lot.
So after you were cleared to play, you were eligible after you had to sit out since you transferred in the middle of your freshman season. What was it like just finally getting on the court and being able to be a part of just Sickles basketball?
Man, it was a good feeling. Being able to be around good talent, year by year. Playing in a really good district, really good conference. We had challenges, and Coach Garcia took us to a lot of really good tournaments that we played really good competition that would make us better in the postseason. But everything it was a really good experience all around, from individuals to team stuff to everything. I feel like every year, once we hit the second half of our season, we always took it to that next step. You could see the team starting to separate who's going to be really well and who's not, and who's kind of staying in the same spot. Coach Garcia always had us, go to that next spot. And when we hit playoffs, we tended to be towards the top, either first or second. First couple of years, we just couldn't get it done. Always runner up, but that last year was special.
I think that's one of the things that marks how good a program is, a coach, and just the players, just everything. Like being able to play your best basketball when it matters. A lot of people like go through a season, the seasons are long and they peak too early, or they just they start playing bad at the wrong time. But in order to be successful, you got to find your peak and play your best basketball towards the end of the year. In college, it's February, March, same with high school, around the end of the year, playoff time. That's when you want to be playing your best basketball. So just being able to do that consistently, that shows just the type of program that was being ran there, the type of guys you guys were as players, and the type of coach that you guys had, and Coach Garcia. So your senior year, you guys had a historical run. You guys ended up winning the state championship. Achieved a lot during the regular season as well before the playoffs. Just talk to me about your overall experience as a senior, just what it took to make it that far, playing with nice talent, like you said, and just what was your senior year like?
I mean, it felt like it went by so fast. You talk about that, with academics, but sports, man, it was gone like that. You cherished a lot of really good moments with everybody, But like you said, it was special. Marcus and I, we've been there for a while. Through the years, what I think was so special about it was that we all had that common goal of everybody wants to win and be a state champion and make it to Lakeland and everything. But what I felt separated us from everybody was that we wanted to win for ourselves, but what took us to that next step was now winning it for someone else or having, something bigger than ourselves. So for us, and I know Marcus and I, we talked about it plenty of times, that, like Coach Garcia, man, his time is due. He needs a state championship. He's been a winner for years and years and had great players. Now let's make our mark, and put our stamp on this school that we were the team to do it for him, be the first, not only for our school, but now 35 years of high school basketball in our county, man. We got it done, So we put all those individual accolades aside and stop worrying about the recruitment and the stats and everything. Marcus was a big part of that. He could have easily in a bucket, but he played his role and he got stuff done. He got us involved and he got everybody else where they needed to be and facilitated and everything. He did a really good job as senior.
We had a lot of like major just battles in high school playing against each other. Like our schools were probably the best two schools in our district. It's not easy playing a state champ 3 times in a season, so it was definitely tough. And just every time we played you guys, it was always tough. You guys beat us pretty handily every time we played that year. You guys were like fully loaded. It was pretty crazy playing you guys, but just being on the being opponents and just playing against you guys, it was pretty like evident that it was more to it than just like you guys individual. Like I could tell that you guys were playing for something more than yourself, like you said, and that's like I think that, like you said, is what really made you guys a great team and allowed you guys to be so successful. It was more than just individual accolades or you guys worrying about your recruitment or everything like that. You guys were really playing for each other, playing for your coach, playing for your school. And even though we lost to you guys 3 times, and of course we would rather have won and just been in the same position that you guys were, just for you guys to win a state championship, like you said, it'd been like 35, 40 years since anybody in our county had won a state championship. Like I felt like I told Marcus on our episode, like I felt like part of me felt like we won a state championship too, just because we had played you guys and just because you guys are representing our city, our county, and it meant a lot. I know it meant a lot to Coach Garcia. It meant a lot to the city. You guys got a whole bunch of love after you guys won, and that it was major for sure. Talk about like the Final Four, just making it to Lakeland, and just that experience overall, just being in the Civic Center and living out a dream, really.
Yeah, like you said, a dream. I mean, ever since I was in 3rd grade, I'd go up either with my mom or like a friend every year and just watch high school ball, watch high school Final Four, high school championship, and it became, that drive and that, that dream that you wanted to be there and see it and be there, and the year before my junior year, we played Bartow, we lost. But St. Pete made it. And that's when they had like Darius Banks, Travis, Sorrell, all of them. They were loaded. And they played Lincoln, which a lot of people didn't know, the team that we beat. So that was just, like, man, that should be us, Even though we didn't play them, they weren't in our same like region. That should have been us, But it was just in shock. I remember Marcus and I, we got out there. And just like for the seniors, but especially Marcus and I, when we got out there, it was just like, man, this is where we wanted to be. This is it. We're on that stage. But then it was like, snap back to reality. All right, we don't want to just get here. We came here for business. We got to win it, We don't be here just to lose. Like, we got something to prove. So it was just being on that floor and seeing it, being on it. It was different, really different.
So you guys ended up beating Lincoln. You guys played Lakewood Ranch first. You guys beat them, and then you guys ended up beating Lincoln for the state championship. When did it set in that you were really like officially a state champion?
It really took probably a week or two, probably two weeks, but I felt I would have been a lot more excited, but and it's the sad part because I remember, we won everything, ceremony, then we had the interviews and everything, and the press conference. Then we got back to the locker room. We're all excited and everything, we won and everything, but I remember Marcus and I were like the last 2 to leave. We're just sitting there. He was getting ready to walk out, and I was just sitting there, and it's like it really hits you like bittersweet that I'm taking my jersey off, and I'm like, this is the last time I get to wear it, win or lose, this is it. I take it off. I'm done. And that was like the hard part, But afterwards, it was like, man, like you see the medal, you start having like these. We had invitations to go to, Lightning game. We had invitations to the Yankees field. On the field we had Spectrum Sports. It was everything. So it was really starting to hit us after a few weeks, and all the press conferences and media and everything. And it was cool for some high school kids to really like get to see that and be a part of that and all the TV stuff. But it was just like you said. I mean, it hit when all that stuff was over. It was like, man, I'm a champion. And then it was like the banners coming in the gym and the pictures in the gym, and you just sit back and you're just like, it's like an exhale, like relief, like you got it done after all these years of like seeing it and wanting to be there and seeing the floor, like I said, watching teams play, and you actually made it and won it. It was just like, man, there's no better feeling. Really, like I still think about it.
It makes sense why you would still think about it. That's like every high school athlete's dream is to win a state championship, be able to win a state championship. I never got that far, but just on a smaller scale, winning a district championship, like it just felt so good to just go back to my school and see like our banner with my year on it. Just like, but that's like way smaller than the state championship. But even still, that feeling is just like amazing. So I could already imagine like how amazing it feels to see a state championship banner and state championship banner, district championship banner, being able to be a part of all that you said, like going to the Lightning games and all those kind of opportunities and stuff. Just being able to just receive so much love from our city and just everybody in general. I know that was just a surreal feeling.
Yeah, because that's another thing. Our sophomore year, we didn't win district. We were runner-up. Junior year, we were up 14 in the fourth quarter, and they came back and beat us. So we didn't win district that year, So it's like, man, like we got this team. Marcus and I, we're going to our senior year, like we got to get something. We got to win our district, It was just like, even that for like that district championship, it was like, man, like we won. Like we actually get to put a stamp and put it in our gym, Like even seeing that, just the district was like, all right, like I'm part of this gym now, you know what I'm saying? And then it was regional, boom. And then Final Four, and then you come back and you get to put the state banner up. It was different.
Big time, for sure. So after you finish your career at Sickles, you decided to do a prep year at Hargrave Military Academy, a prestigious prep school, military academy, produced many players, many NBA players and high-level college players. Montrezl Harrell, Terry Rozier, I could keep going. Talk about your experience going there and just what that was like overall, being a part of that.
It was such a different world, from you going from that, probably being like, around average players, a few good players around, and then you go to this, and now everybody was the best in their town, the best on their team, Division I recruits here and there. But I had no idea what Hargrave really was, because I played with Team Spates, and Mo Spates went to Hargrave. So I didn't know anything about it, but he told me about it, and he put in a word and everything, and then they started recruiting me, and then it was like, oh, here's the opportunity to come, and I ended up doing it. But, out of high school, there was a lot of interest in a lot of stuff, but going into my senior year, I broke my foot, tore my Achilles, so I was out for a little bit. A lot of people don't know about that. So I lost all the schools I had, from AAU tournaments. So I ended up trying to get back and go prep, see if I can get everything back. And just Hargrave was just, like it says, military, you're waking up 5:30 in the morning. You're going outside in the cold in your uniform, buttoned up, ties, everything. And you're marching around, got the gun, everything. It's a different world. You go from public school, a little bit of leash, everything, being like, the guy at the school, you know, you get a little bit of slack here and there. Now you go into an uptight military school where everything's cracked down. You know, this is how we do it here. I don't care what you do or what you did, but this is how we do it. And it was different. It was really, really different. And then the knee pain and playing on 2 torn knees. So it was just, I was on and off. So I didn't get recruited like I did, you know. So then I ended up going JUCO. Yeah.
Like, what were some of the things that you just what were some of the things that were like drilled and instilled in you from Hargrave that have stuck with you today, like that have made you a better person overall?
It's crazy what a year can do to you, but it's that repetition, where it's crazy. Like, you know, you make your bed, but now it's like I've clean, like no wrinkles type, and it's just a habit now. So it's like folds and everything in your beds, and how you set up your closet with the 2-inch margin between each hanger. It's like, it's a habit now. It's not, you know, a rule, but now it's part of your life, you know, just little things like that. But it's also from the basketball standpoint, it's just how you played there was so different. And that's how you get your taste of like shot clock and college floor, college lines, and different styles of play and stretching the floor. It was so different. It was so different from high school, but it prepared you for college and your next step. And that's what was so special about it.
For sure. I kind of have a similar kind of story as you did. Really, my senior year, I actually tore my meniscus playing against Sickles, and it kind of like set me back as far as recruiting and stuff like that. And then I also I broke my hand, and that kind of set me back. So coming out of my senior year, I was also I went on a visit to Hargrave. I was actually planning on going there, and just things didn't go through. But I remember I was reaching out to you, asking you about it, and just trying to get some kind of a feel for what it was like and what it was all about. And it was definitely an honor to even be being recruited by a program like that. And like, I still, like, the coaches that were there, like that I was talking to, Coach Messenger, Coach Mosley, Coach Lee Martin, all those guys, like, those are high level guys. I know those are all your guys because you actually went there. But it definitely meant a lot to me just to even go there and see what it was like, and just be possibly like being a part of that. I feel like I didn't, like, at that time, I wasn't really mature enough to know that it was like that big of a decision to go there. And I feel like if I would have went there, like, things probably would have been a lot different for me as far as just my game overall, developing as a player, being recruited by better schools and stuff like that. But I mean, can't live in the past, like, that's already passed. And I'm kind of just like moving forward. Like, I'll move forward still, but I definitely, like, I know that just Hargrave was just a very like elite program, and I know it was something that you're grateful that you were able to be a part of and just to have the experience. So after you left Hargrave, you ended up going the JUCO route. Talk about how you decided that was going to be the route for you, and just what your JUCO experience was like.
So I ended up going JUCO because, you know, I still had a knee pain and everything. But, you know, the school still, you know, I was trying to recover back from it and everything. And they gave me a scholarship, and it was near home. So it was an hour and a half away. So it felt like the right fit. But everyone gets a bad rap with JUCO, thinking it's a bad program, it's bad ball, it's, you know, a lot of drama and bad stuff. But there is that small percentage of schools that you go to the right school, you know, that are disciplined and help you get to that next step. And JUCO really does get a bad rap on certain things, you know. But if you go to the right school, you know, and you really are focused and pursuing your dreams and doing all that stuff, it is a good route. Especially the way I took it. I ended up going my first year, doing summer workouts and everything, getting ready to get back and get exposure and everything. And then knee pain again, and I go and get it checked out. And I got 2 tears. I got a tear in my right patella and a tear in my left. And now it's, I go get injections, and now I'm sitting out. And then I say, you know what, coach, I'm not going to be able to play in time. And he told me, that's the right decision. So I redshirted. I'm sitting and I'm watching, and now it's like 2 years go by because I barely played at Hargrave because the same thing. And, you're just so antsy to play, and you don't even practice. And I didn't even practice until late January, early February, because there was only certain things I can do. And then, and it's like the next year, and you're like, all right, now I'm really back, and I'm feeling it. I'm starting to make a name for myself because I wasn't doing anything really last year, or the last 2 years, really. So now I'm like, man, you get all the bad rap with, oh, he's damaged goods. He used to be this, but he's not the same anymore, or whatever. First pickup, first scrimmage game. It's like 2 minutes in. I go and get a board, and I land funny, and I felt a pop. And I tried to keep playing on it, be tough, and see if I could fight through it. But I just didn't play well. And then I got it checked out, and I strained the ligament in my foot, and my toe popped out, my big toe dislocated. And, so it's just like I keep getting this bad luck. And it's like, man, you know what? Can my body just keep doing this? And you start thinking, but, you push through because I know what my dreams are, and I know what I want to do. And you keep fighting for it because this is what you've been training for this whole time. So, I recover, whatever, and then I didn't even get to play in the jamborees because I was sitting out in the boot. And then I get like 3 weeks before our first game, I start practicing again. Start making name. 6-man, 7-man area, playing my role, which I had no problem with. I played a role at Sickles, but now I'm playing a different role, at JUCO. Come off the bench a little bit, but that's fine. I had no problem with that. And as the year starts to continue, the little things like the diving on the floor for balls, the talking in defense and taking charges and the rebounding, those little things got me more and more minutes. While I do shoot the ball, and that's what I do, but those little things got me more time and more minutes. And now I'm able to get another shot up. And if I make it, then my minutes go even more, so it's a game. And all the coaches do need that kind of guy that is willing to be a quote unquote role player where he can do all the little things that a lot of kids don't do. So being able to do that keeps you on the floor even longer and has a trust in your coach where he's like, man, I got to keep him in because he's making everybody else better. That's how I've always was learning to play, and that's how my mom taught me. So it was just, as the year went on, this is my redshirt freshman year, so I would have another year at JUCO if I wanted to. So I'd be at JUCO for 3 years. And so I already prepped and everything. So I'm already old, So, I'm 21 freshman, redshirt freshman. But once the year went on and we got into playoffs and game was playing good and everything, and just, it lit up in a game, and that's all it really takes, where the right people are in, to see you, and then it went on from there.
The junior college that you went to was College of Central Florida. I go to Santa Fe College. I went there last year, and I'm here currently this year. But you're in our conference. We played each other 3 times last year. You guys won our conference. I lost to Bryce a couple of times, as you guys can see in my life. But, yeah, you guys were a very solid team last year, very well coached, a lot of talent. So, playing you guys, it was always a challenge. It was always, fun just to compete because I knew, we always knew that it was going to be a good game. You guys were going to come ready to play. Just fighting adversity, being injured, coming back from injuries and stuff like that, it takes a lot of – and just being in JUCO, like you said, it takes a lot of mental toughness just to be able to, be resilient and just stay mentally sharp, be mentally locked in, just always being there because when you're taking time off like you did, like you didn't play that much at Hargrave because you were injured. You didn't play that much your freshman year before you redshirted. So you kind of were out for like almost 2 years really before you got to play basketball the way that you wanted to, since you had won a state championship. So it's really like, I give you a lot of credit, and my hat goes off to you for just continue to just keep working and just working until it worked out, just grinding and just believing in yourself really, because if nobody else would have believed in you and you didn't believe in yourself, you wouldn't have made it to where you are now. So again, it's a lot of respect just being a player that's had injuries before. Like, I know what it takes. I know those days where you feel like, damn, is it really like, do I really need to stop playing basketball? Is this really a sign? Do I need to just keep going? Like, it's a lot of days, a lot of dark times, but you were able to just push through and persevere, just keep going. So I definitely applaud you again for that. A lot of respect. So like I said, you guys won our conference. You guys had a very good year. A lot of people don't understand in JUCO ball, it's very tough to have a solid, a cohesive unit, because most of the people are just, like you said, trying to just get out, make it to the next level. So just you guys being a good team and achieving a lot, it definitely helped you guys all you guys, like your talent show. A lot of you guys, a lot of D1 players, a lot of next level players from your team. Just talk about your season overall, what you guys were able to accomplish, going to the state tournament, and just how everything ended off for you guys.
Well, we finished 25-7, which is solid. You know, we actually had a bid to go to the national championship, but we won our conference. So now we go to the state playoffs, which is our Region 8. First game, we're playing Broward, which is a solid team. They shoot the ball well. They play really good D. They're in the Southern Conference. So it's not a pushover. And I think at that time, we were ranked 3 in the state and 14 in the country, somewhere around there. So we had a chance, even if we didn't win the national or the state playoffs, we could get in that large bid. But Florida Southwest was the number 1 team in the country and then 1 team in the state. And there's only 3 teams that make it out. So we had to get past that first round, you know, because Tallahassee was 2. So if we would have lost, it would have been, you know, we probably wouldn't have made it. But we ended up, you know, played that first game. We went into overtime. It was like 1-0. Well, we finished. It was 106-103 in overtime. You know, and that was the game, you know, where I had a really good game. I think one of our guys actually got hurt. He's at UNLV now. So I ended up starting, and, you know, it's just one of those nights where, you know, that it just everything was falling for you. And so I ended up with, you know, 29-30 with 6 for 8 from 3, you know, so it was just, and then all the coaches started pouring in. It was like you're starting to feel what you had in high school. So after all these years of pain and you know, man, I know I keep doing this, is to feel that come back, you know, it was like a weight lift off my shoulders. That it's like, man, you know, I'm finally like starting to get everything back that I had, you know, just a little bit. But we ended up playing Gulf Coast in the semifinals. They beat Florida Southwest, the number 1 team in the country. But right off the bat, first catch, you turn right into it. Wow. So it was like, no, okay, man, I got the feeling. I know it's where it's going, the right length and everything. But then just everything started going downhill, turnovers to technical fouls to guys fouling out. You know, it was just they were shooting the piss out of it. They had a phenomenal game, and everything went wrong for us. You know, we had, I think, 4 techs in that game. So, and there's no way you can win like that. So we lost, and they actually ended up winning state playoffs. But that was my last year at JUCO, and then I ended up coming up here to Bing.
before we talk about you getting to Binghamton, how did just this whole coronavirus and just the break that you had from the time that you guys finished your season last year to the time that you've been at Binghamton, like how has your mindset just been affected by just the COVID pandemic?
Well, on a basketball standpoint, it really shows you, not to take practices and workouts and everything for granted. I know, like, when everything was good and everything was normal, it was like, man, it was a drag sometimes to go through practice, but you can't think that because now you're on a clock. That ball's really going to stop bouncing here in a few days, in like a few years, and time is short. You never know. You can have a knee injury again and you'll be done. So without hooping for what? How many months? Like 7 months? It's crazy, So you can't work out with your guys, So like here, you can't work out at home. You can't go play pickup. They took the rims down. It's just, so it's so hard to get back in that groove and that same state that you were before. But while we were home, we just lift 6 days a week, run every day, a minimum of, I had a shooting machine at the house. I got it from one of the local high schools that I know, just shooting every day, trying to keep everything, where it is. And so when I get up to school and I'm ready, I don't want to be out of shape, or I don't want to have my shot not falling, or whatever the case may be. So it was hard, but you got to fight through that adversity like I've been doing for these years. It was nothing new.
I think a lot of us, just athletes, basketball players, just people in general, we all just noticed that we were taking a lot of things that we shouldn't have been taking for granted. Just like you said, just the small things like working out, like practicing, that kind of thing, just spending time in the gym, and then just like on a personal level, just like small things, like just simple stuff like going to the grocery store, just like small things, just all the things that we just took for granted previously. It just like we had to change our mindset just because it was literally taken away. It seems like it was instantly and it lasted a long time. But I feel like everybody that like spent their time during the pandemic and just the time away from everybody, just focusing on developing and just growing as a person, as a player, whatever the case, just continuing to grow throughout that time, it'll benefit them like in the near future when they get back to playing real games and being a part of their team and just everything really. And I definitely had the same kind of mindset, just seeing that I was really taking a lot for granted. And I feel like a lot of people just had that same kind of mindset from coronavirus. So you got to Binghamton. Talk to me about just what the experience has been like since you got there. Tell everybody where it is and just like what everything's been like since you've arrived there.
So now Binghamton is a Division I basketball school in upstate New York. It's not city, it's not over where Big Apple is, and it's about 3 hours from Manhattan. It's like a college town, but what's so unique and great about it, because I didn't want to be it. I'm not a city kid. It's not rural and out in the country, but you do get a taste of both. And now I see, like, for New York, you get the leaves changing, the weather's changing, now snow's getting ready to start falling, and you dress different because, being a Florida kid all your life, and now you're going up north is just different. But it's real, it's just the Division I level, now this is it. This is what you've been working for. This is what you've been shooting for. Maybe not the same school that you dreamed of, but, now you're at that level. You're playing the same level as all those guys you watched, growing up. So, I'm really excited, to get the opportunity. And a lot of guys do settle. We just had a FaceTime call with our coach. He was talking about it. Guys do end up settling and being satisfied with being a Division I athlete. That, oh, I made it. This is what I wanted to do. No, now is you made it, but make your mark. Just like how you're doing in high school. You make your mark. You do the things that put your name either in the gym or get your team, an NCAA berth or stuff like that. So it's just, I'm just ready. We start here in a month, first game of the month. So, I can't wait. Can't wait.
Yeah, like it's been tough just not playing basketball since like February, March, like we just were talking about. We've been playing basketball our whole lives, really. AAU ball, travel ball, rec league ball, high school ball. Like it's never been a time where we've been just like out of playing basketball for this long, like this extensively. So like I'm just, like you said, I'm just ready to be back playing. We start our schedule in January, so we got a little bit more time to wait. But I just miss everything about game days, like just all the small things, just having butterflies and putting on your jersey and looking in the mirror, make sure your jersey look right, warm ups, just all the small things. Like I just said before, it's a lot of stuff that we took for granted just before all of this, and it's just giving me, I know it's giving you and many other people just a new outlook on everything. So like you said, I'm totally ready to just be back playing basketball again. What's your mindset going into this season at Binghamton?
Just play the way you were raised to play. I don't want to go in thinking, oh, I got to average this amount of points, this amount of average, percentages and stuff. If you go in, take care of your business, do the little things, your playing time will get there and everything will fall in place. Just like how the state championship thing. Once you put something bigger than yourself, all the self accolades and everything else will fall into place after that.
How hard have you had to work to get to this point?
Oh, countless hours and days. We talked about my mom a lot, but my dad he's the guy that's out there working with me. We work on shots and everything. We get at least a minimum 500 threes made a day, so we're on that shoot machine, or he's rebounding for me. It's raining outside. It's hot outside. He's there with me. So he's helped me through a lot, and he's, being a football guy, he has expanded my game to be, a little bit bigger and stronger. You don't get pushed and bumped off. So when you do take that power dribble step and you go up, you're not fazed by a foul or whatever the case may be. But I've, it's like you said, a long journey, and it's been so hard to just you go up and you're at that peak where where you're at, and you're getting all these interests and everything from high major schools to offers and everything, and then you get hurt, and then you keep going down, and then you got to work your way back up. So it's been a journey, and it's been hard, but it's made me who I am, and it's made me, like you said, like mentally strong, where you gotta push through all that adversity and all that pain to make that story great, like you said.
Yeah, I say it all the time. Nothing that's easy in life is worth having, and nothing that's worth having comes easy. Just adversity and ups and downs, that's what makes success just so much sweeter. And you're like seeing the fruits of your labor, all your hard work, like you said. So like I already know that's just like an unreal feeling, just seeing all of that hard work pay off. What's your why, and what just keeps you focused and motivated to just keep going even though you've achieved so much so far?
Well, every day, I got these three things that I got to live by every day. And it's something to look up to, something to look forward to, and it's somebody to chase. So, you go through that every day, and you always think you got those three things in your back pocket. For me, it's who I look up to is God. I thank him for everything that he's done, even though there's a lot of pain and sorrow and everything, but it's got me to where I am, and I'm happy, because it's made me who I am. He's built me as a strong human being and mentally strong, and I'm thankful. Something I look forward to is, my family, my mom, my dad, to make them happy and see them, see all the success and it's just, I want to make them the most proud. That's what I look forward to. And someone to chase. I remember when I was 15 years old, somebody asked me who's your hero? And I didn't know because, I had guys that I looked up to, but who's my hero? And I didn't know. So I told him, like, give me a little bit to think about it. And I said, it's me at 20. And I said, and he was like, like, why? And then 5 years go by, we win the state championship and everything. He said, so are you a hero? I said, no, not even close. He said, why? I said, because my hero was me at 25, so now I'm going through college and everything. And, year after year, after those 5 years, I don't know who I'm going to be. And I'm never going to be that person because, 5 years go by, I'm never going to be able to chase him. But that's okay with me because it's someone I know I'm not going to chase or be able to catch. Because once you pass that somebody, then what? But now I know that I'm never going to be able to pass him. And that pushes me to get better every day. So that's something that, I've lived by, every day that I see that I got to get better.
Sure. I think that's just the key to anything, just continuing to get better every day and being the best version of you could be. Nobody could be you better than you can be. So as long as you just put your best foot forward in all aspects of life, sports, life, just everything in general, and just continue to just strive to be better, then you can't really fail as long as you don't quit and you just keep striving to be great. What would be one thing that you would tell somebody that's just up and coming, that's trying to make it?
No matter what you want to do or what your dream is, how big or how little, do it. Because it's what you want to do, Don't worry about it, whether it's the pay or, if people do it or not, or it's not cool, or if it is, whatever you want to do or what you want to pursue in, or whatever your dreams are, do it, because in the end, it's for you. It's your life. You only get, like you say, YOLO and everything, but really, you only get one shot because you never know when that time or that buzzer hits. It's a sports analogy. You never know. So, in those moments, and at the end of the day, make sure that you accomplish everything that you wanted to accomplish.
I totally agree. I think it's important to just start whatever you're dreaming about doing, whatever you want to do. I think it's important to just start now, take action now, and just chase your dreams, really, because like you said, you never know when the end is going to be. Like nothing lasts forever, and things change every day. So you don't really have time to just say, oh, I'll wait till tomorrow, or I'll wait till next year, or I'll wait 5 years to do this. Like you should just start and take action doing whatever you want to do now. Nothing is cool until somebody does it. So worrying about what other people think is cool and what other people think about what you're doing, that's not the right approach. So yeah, like you said, you really just touched on everything. Just like start and like don't take things for granted. I think that's major what you said. Now we're gonna do the speed round just to wrap things up. So just let me know what you think about some of these rapid fire questions. What's your number one thing to do in your free time?
Either watch Netflix or read the Bible.
Okay. Who are your top 5 music artists out right now?
Out right now, I'm a big J. Cole fan. I love the baby. Gotta go with Kodak. It's Florida. I do like Young Boy, even though they butt heads. And you gotta throw Drake in there. Got it.
That's a solid 5 right there. Very solid. What's your number one goal for the season this coming year?
Win a conference.
What's your major?
I'm in human development here at Bing, but I also have a minor in business and a minor at CF in criminology.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be and why?
Super speed.
Who's been the biggest influence on your life this far?
My dad.
What do you want to improve the most on the court this year?
Being as versatile as possible, like ball handling and going to the rack and finishing.
If you can meet 3 people dead or alive, who would they be and why?
If I could meet 3, Larry Bird, always been my favorite basketball player. I love Dennis Rodman, even though he's a nut. I love it. Like he's different. Like nobody's like that.
Sure.
I got to throw Magic Johnson in there because him and Bird go hand in hand.
Well, that's about it for the show. Again, Bryce, I just want to say thank you for being a part of this, supporting this that I'm starting up. Tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
Instagram is Beamer and 0. Got to change the number this year, so I'm 0 now. Twitter, I think it's the same thing. And, that's all I really got.
Bryce Beamer, again, thank you for being a part of this, bro. I appreciate it. Binghamton University, season coming soon. That's about it for this episode. I'll see you on the next episode.
All right, man. Thanks for having me.
No problem.